We're at the first drive event for the refreshed Mitsubishi Outlander gas model.
The changes might not be obvious, but there are actually quite a few. All right, we are in the...
Oh, pretty quiet.
It is very quiet.
Wow.
We're in the gas model of the Outlander. This is not the plug-in, just so you're aware.
No.
What's under the hood of this thing?
A 2.5-liter four-cylinder. It's matched to a CVT and has 181 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive in Canada. Front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options are available in the US, and you can use regular fuel in the Outlander.
Moments away from telling you what's new for this updated facelifted model. Right now, you get a lot of stuff as standard equipment with the Outlander.
The base trim comes with a 7-inch multi-information display, a 12.3-inch touchscreen with navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, an 8-speaker dynamic sound Yamaha premium audio system, 7-passenger seating, manual heated front seats, cloth upholstery, push-button start, and a manual tailgate.
So we mentioned at the very beginning, it might not look like there's a lot of changes to this product, but it's kind of under the very light facelift on the outside. What's new for 2025?
Well, Mitsubishi has updated the suspension, retuned the steering, giving the vehicle in general a more comfortable drive. Tweaks to the exterior like a new grille, front bumper, new wheel designs, and updated rear tail lamps. The interior gets a whole new center console, and we'll get more into that when we get into the interior part of the video. There's a new Yamaha stereo system that's available on all trims. And Mitsubishi says, we actually took customer feedback and made these changes based on it.
All right, we're going to unbox some of that stuff. I think when we get into the driving is right now, I think I noticed right away, Andrea, they did change the suspension mounts, the sway bar, and most importantly for me, they changed the shock absorbers. They used to have like a passive shock and spring. Now they have what are called frequency selective dampers. And if you watched any of our videos that highlight this technology, I always go on about how good it is. They can set the parameters by how much compression and rebound they have, and you really notice it with other changes they've made to this to feel much more kind of upscale and planted.
Yeah, and I think the real thing is just the comfort level. Like when you're driving just at a steady speed, the cabin remains quiet, smoother and more refined for a non-luxury model. You know, off the top, when we kicked it, it does go.
Kick it again.
Slight delay, and then get up to highway speeds, settles down.
It's not a powerhouse.
No.
This is not the powerhouse model. This is just a really good, okay, we're going around, Andrew's carving a corner.
Look at me go.
And
steering feels pretty good.
Yeah, actually, I really like the ride of this. The suspension and the steering is excellent. It's not a powerhouse. If you want more power, the plug-in will offer you more power. And that's one area I think with Mitsubishi, they could add a little more jam to this. But as an everyday commuter taking the kids to school and to soccer practice, this is absolutely fine for most people.
One piece of feedback that Mitsubishi got was that the steering on the previous model was quite vague. So they've improved on that. Mitsubishi does say as you change drive modes, the steering becomes heavier or lighter. Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say that it gets super heavy or really light, but I can see what they mean, that they've improved it. And I find that it definitely, when you're taking these corners, does feel a lot better.
It's when you're not taking the corners. They also made one major update, and they got feedback from North American buyers where we do a lot of straight line highway driving. You want to have a good, what's called an on-center feel, so you're not correcting the wheel all the time when you're going straight. And we did a lot of California highway driving to get to this location, and I did notice that, I think, to me, it just feels like they took what they had and they just polished it and made it a little bit better.
Yeah, you're still going to find on the highway when you're trying to get up to highway speed and you're passing that it is a little bit sluggish, but in the city it's easy to maneuver. Parallel parking is easy. You've got power folding exterior mirrors available on a model that really I think is priced so well. We'll get into that pricing and we'll talk a little bit more about those trims.
So it's called the dynamic shield design. So on the outside, They want the front to look like you've got two hands protecting your Outlander. By the way, Outlander script across the hood is on some trims. It's not standard, and they told us in the States it can get it actually put on as a dealer install. So if you like that kind of like Land Rover Discovery Outlander look on the front, you can get that.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of that Land Rover look to it with the script across the front. This gets 8.4 inches of ground clearance and comes standard with LED headlamps, LED rear combination lamps, 18-inch wheels, available 20-inch wheels, and a tire repair kit. No temporary spare tire on this model. Available features include LED fog lamps, roof rails, heated and power folding exterior mirrors with an integrated turn signal light. There's a new color option called Moonstone Gray and has a little bit of a blue undertone. This is our test model color, so you get a good idea of what it looks like. And there's also an available two-tone roof option.
So the 2024 model, you had the option to get an upgraded LED front lighting package. That is now standard, so that's a good upgrade. And at the back, the turn signals were not LED in the past. They've given the rear turn signals a sort of smoke look, and all of the lights are now LEDs. Okay, we are in the top trim. They always give us the top trim. This is called the GT Premium in Canada, the SEL trim in the United States. These are actually US spec cars we're driving. And I'm going to go out and say it right now to Andrea. If you're going for non-luxury, non-premium, this interior is right near the top alongside what you would get from like the CX-90 from Mazda.
Yeah, I agree with you. This definitely feels more upscale for a non-luxury brand. It's got a lot of soft touch materials. There is some hard plastic, but not a ton. And then you'll find some piano black at the center console, a little bit on the dash, and also where the door handles are. But I can live with it. You've got this traditional shifter, a new center console. They've moved the cup holders so that they're in a better location. Just ease of use is better in this model, and also they've improved the storage, extra 45%.
We're missing the biggie though, Andrea. They used to have, what was it, an 8-inch screen before as the base screen. This big screen you're seeing now, the big screen you're seeing now, standard on every trim, even the base model, 12.3 inches, comes standard with wireless Apple and Android. That's all good stuff. I just want to, as a reference point, one of the best-selling vehicles is the Honda CR-V, right? The Honda CR-V base screen is just 7 inches. I'm showing you a picture of that now. A little rinky-dink screen.
And really, the top screen's only 9.
And their big screen's only 9. This is 12.3 inches of goodness. This is the stuff that sells cars. Mitsubishi's smart to do that.
Very smart. And still lots of knobs and buttons in here. Not everything is done in this screen, which we always say is a treat. And for 2025, Mitsubishi has added new features. We complained 2024 didn't have ventilated front seats. They've added that. They've added a digital rear view mirror.
Fun fact, Andrea, you know we love our fun facts.
We do.
If you ever see a picture of a studio where they record music, there's speakers that sit just above the big console. They're black cabinets with white woofers. And those are made by Yamaha. They're called NS10 speakers. And pretty much every single album that you've ever listened to on the radio in your life have been mixed on those speakers. Right?
Fun fact.
Fun fact. And Yamaha is now the supplier for the sound system for this car. We had a long, deep dive into the technology behind it, which was kind of interesting. And what do you have to think of the stereo?
I think it's really good. It's crisp. It's clear. We've been listening to, different songs, whether they have more drums, more bass, and I think it's really good. Like in a non-luxury brand, it's fantastic. We've owned a GTI, and we've got a Harman Kardon sound system.
So it's a dud. The thing about stereo systems, all subjective. What you like, what somebody else likes could be totally different. The good news is Yamaha is supplying their stereo system on all trims. Now, if you go up in trims, you get more speakers, you get more features, you get more cowbell.
You do.
But anyway, try it out for yourself. This is the very first Yamaha sound system in a North American product.
Yeah, very good. This comes standard with cloth upholstery, available micro suede and leatherette combo, and then available semi-aniline leather with quilting, which you see on our test model. And there's a new color, brick brown. I like it.
It's nice to have something different.
Yeah.
And you know me, Andrea, I'm always a black interior guy. If I was getting an Outlander, I'd get this color.
There's also an available light gray, so it really depends on the trim that you choose. I gotta say, this really is a value leader 7-passenger vehicle. Yeah, the third row is small, but still, it's 7 passengers. And we went through the standard features, pretty good for standard features, but if you just move up one from the base model, and I'm going to use Canadian pricing just to keep things simple, just over $38,000, and that adds a heated steering wheel, a wireless charger, the panoramic sunroof, and a hands-free power liftgate.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff even on that one up from the base model. You can get all the way up to this with the quilted seats, but if you're budget friendly, Mitsubishi's always been a value brand, and the good thing is even with the vehicle that has brought in a whole different segment of buyer to their offerings, they're still looking after the value buyer.
And you still get a power driver's seat, but you've got to move up one more trim, and then the power passenger seat is one trim more. That doesn't include a height adjustment. And I did say to Mitsubishi, I felt that was a miss. They said, yeah, we're aware of it. This is just a refresh. Maybe we'll add it later on. Seats in this model, super comfortable. We did ask, actually, Zach asked if these were the zero gravity seats like Nissan uses, and Mitsubishi said no, these are our own take on comfortable seats, and they extended the seat back length to make it more comfortable than the previous model.
Available features include a multi-view camera, a 10.8-inch head-up display, a 12-speaker dynamic sound Yamaha Ultimate audio system, power front seats, driver's seat memory with mirrors, ventilated front seats, 12.3-inch digital driver display, wireless charger, panoramic sunroof, heated second row seats, and a hands-free power liftgate. Even though this is a compact vehicle, it is a 3-row. We'll get to the third row in a second. Here's me getting in the second row. Of course, the seats have to slide fore and aft. How does it stack up?
The Outlander is 185.8 inches in length and has 41.7 inches of front row legroom. Second row legroom comes in at 39.9 inches.
Okay, the third row seats are really just for kids and only really to use for short trips. Here is me getting in the back. How does this stack up?
Third row legroom is small, Zach, as you mentioned, 18.7 inches.
Okay, when you lift the power liftgate on this trim, you see the space behind the third row isn't that big. This is a compact vehicle. There is some additional space under the floor. How does it stack up?
Space behind the third row is 10.9 cubic feet. Behind the second row, 30.6 cubic feet. And overall cargo space is 64.3 cubic feet.
All right, can this tow? What's the fuel economy with this gas model and more in our vital stats?
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. We're using MSRP. The base model starts at just over $35,500 and the top trim is just under $47,500. In the US, the base front-wheel drive model starts at just over $29,500 and the top trim is just over $43,000.
Here's the all-wheel drive fuel economy, 9.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 7.9 on the highway. That's 24 miles per gallon city, 30 on the highway. The towing capacity is 2,000 pounds, and the warranty is 5 years, 100,000 kilometers, or 60,000 miles. In the United States, there were 2 years of limited maintenance. Lightning round, two things we like to see improved.
I like the improvements in refinement of this Outlander.
I like the new interior layout, looks fantastic.
What I'd love to see on a future Outlander model is a power height adjustment on the passenger seat.
And the center console with the shiny hard plastic, they could turn that down just a little bit. But other than that, I think they've done a great job on this updated 2025 Outlander. What do you guys think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.